I'm Angela Stribling, host of Pillow Talk on WHUR. Any WHUR listeners here? Well, you know, it is all about Lee's Flower and Card Shop. Congratulations. What a day, what a day. And you know, while we're clapping our hands, let's give the Duke Ellington School of the Arts Radical Elite Show Band a round of applause. That was pretty amazing. And welcome to the grand opening for Lee's Flower and Card Shop. I've got to say, if you haven't been inside, it is so fabulous, isn't it? You walk through those doors and you just feel so good and so proud. It's amazing, and it's quite an institution. Been around since 1945. Not a lot of businesses can say that. They've been one of the most popular and prominent businesses right here on the U Street corridor. And wow, over 70 years, and to still be owned and operated by family. That's something to be proud of, too. Well, you know what? They've been providing so many professional organizations and personal people just everywhere. Whenever you need good flowers, who do you call? You got that right. All right, so there are so many people here who want to say things to you. The people who have made it all happen want to speak first, and so put your hands together, please. President and co-owner, Mrs. Stacy Lee Banks.
So everyone knows that Christy and I are the worker bees, and our dad is the speaker of the family, but I'm going to do a little talk on, or I just want to thank you all for coming. I also wanted to recognize our wonderful staff, Gina, Samantha, Brittany, and where's James? Oh, Marvin, and James. Just want to say James has been working with us for 35 years, Dave? 39 years! So, and also, let's see, Christopher over there. So I just wanted to thank everyone for coming. I wanted to say, if you've had a baby before, you know the pregnancy part where you're working hard, or you're anticipating, and you're waiting for the baby to come. So this is what our renovation was. It was a 9-month process. We actually started out with a Great Streets grant from the DC government, and we applied for it. We won a grant of $48,000, and we were so excited. So then we called a designer, Tristan Care Francis, and so he came up with the design, and he did everything, and Christy and I we approved it, and we had to work on getting the money for it because, you know, that wasn't just $50,000 in there. So we called Industrial Bank. We've been dealing with Industrial since my grandparents started the business in 1945, and Industrial Bank's right across the street there. And where's Patricia? Patricia Mitchell. Where is she? Well, Patricia was here, and Doyle Mitchell, and so they helped us out with the finished product, and we're so proud of it, and we're so thankful for everyone who has been a part of it. What else do I want to say? Do you want to say? Oh, and I wanted to recognize the family up here. Lachey Lee is holding our 5th generation here. That's Blake and Samara Banks, my daughter. Joy Tyler, Christy's daughter. And my mom, Marie Lee. My husband, Jeffrey Banks. Jawan Jones, Christy's other half. And my dad, of course, Richard Lee. Everybody knows him. So I don't want to leave anybody out, but I really appreciate everybody for coming, and especially our mayor, Merrill Bowser. Thank you so much for all that you've done for us. My aunt, Enid, came all the way from Philadelphia today just for this event. So I think and Mackenzie. Mackenzie came from Akron, and Mackenzie does our marketing all the way from Akron, Ohio. We just sent her pictures, and she puts them on social media. I want to also recognize Virginia Ali. owner of Ben's Chili Bowl. Yes, we've been neighbors for all these years, and my grandmother did their wedding flowers. So, yes. So, oh, I also want to thank Kyle Hutchison of Hutchison Design Group. I always mess up his name. He put this event together, and Christy and I were always laugh because we're designers too. So he said, "Can you let me do the designing?" So we let him do it, and he took it away, and he just made it fabulous. Okay. Oh, my mother said, okay. So, and I don't usually talk, but I have to introduce Tristan Kier Francis. He wants to he's going to talk about the concept and the design. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. As Stacy said, this was 9 amazing months. I met these ladies at the DC Hall of Fame Society. I received the Capital Probe Award, and it's wonderful when you get an award and folks want to hire you. So we came in and we talked, and I looked at this space and I gave them an architectural rendering. And I went home and I thought about it for a few hours. I was telling the mayor this, and it took me about 4 hours to do some research, and I started looking at Japanese flower shops, and I noticed that there's so many windows here. So I can tell you that welcome to the terrarium in Tokyo at 11th and U Street. We wanted everyone to see the inside of the shop. You can physically see these women designing and working, and we broke the shop up into 3 unique spaces. This area that's right behind us is called In the Woods. It's very earthy, there's plant life there. And then you go into Modern in the City, where you've got all these beautiful, luxurious crystal chandeliers. And then you go into Earth, where everything comes to life there because they're creating these beautiful creations. It was a labor of love. This building started out as a 5-cent theater. It was also known as a place where African Americans could come and get housing. And in 1945, this family occupied the space and purchased the building in 1968. So they took a chance on a boy who's been living in DC for 13 years from the South Bronx, and this is what we created. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like for you to clap your hands for the chairman and CEO of Lee's Flower and Card Shop, Mr. Rick Lee.
Thank you very much. This is the first time I've been introduced by such a beautiful, beautiful woman. And, we've been listening to her on the radio for years. And so I don't know if you all stay up late enough, but Pillow Talk comes on right late. So you want to listen to a good voice and some good music, tune in. Anyway, I want to thank everyone. I want to echo Stacy and welcome and thank everyone for coming out. I know that this was during the day when a lot of people were working and probably had to take off and whatnot, but you came out to support us, and we appreciate it. Definitely appreciate the mayor being here, Mayor Bowser. I'm one of her early supporters. I call her Mayor Beautiful. I mean, not only brains, but looks. Anyway, U Street has been my home. I went to school right around the corner back in the 40s, 1949 as a matter of fact, and that's a long time ago. The flower shop was here, and I went to Grimke Elementary School, so I've been on U Street that long. And the shop has been here since 1945, and we've seen everything that could possibly happen in the neighborhood. We've seen it happen here on U Street. We used to have parades up and down here every Saturday, and we had people that were close-knit. A lady talked to me today and was reminiscing about the fact that she was living down the street in the 50s and the 60s, and she used to shop up at the flower shop, bring her kids up here, okay? So that's how long we've been here, and it's always been a neighborhood shop. Anytime someone would need something or come by, we would be glad to help them out. And so, and I'm glad that Stacy recognized Virginia Ali because she was the same kind of person. I've always found that in her generosity, willing to give, and willing to receive. You know what I mean? So it's got to be a two-way street. If it can't keep giving if you don't receive. So anyway, we've received support even when they had the street all torn up. During the metro construction, it looked like Beirut out here. You know what I mean? You come out the door, you couldn't move or anything like that. But fortunately, our customers continued to call us up and order flowers. And so that's how we were able to survive. We also had drug dealers out here after the riots on this corner every day. I would call the police all day long. And you know, they had scanners and they listen in on the police calls. Every time I call and the police would come up here, they'd be gone because they shoot down the street. But I called them all day long, okay, for a year until they decided, okay, Rick Lee is not going to give up. And so the drug dealers gave up, all right? And that's how we have to all be. We got to be tenacious. We got to be neighborhood folk. We got to stick together. And so we've been able to do that thanks to you all. Okay, so continue to come up here and buy flowers. You see that we can do the job, right? We can do the job. We can do anything with flowers, okay? And we will be glad to do it for you all, okay? Thank you very much. Okay, now my job is a good job, all right? I got to be introduced by a beautiful woman, and I'm getting ready to introduce a beautiful woman, all right? As I said, brains and beauty. You can't beat it. And sisterhood, okay? So, Mary Bowser, come on up. All right. God bless you.
Everybody, let's hear it for Rick Lee. And Lee's Flower and Card Shop. I couldn't be more excited to be here today, and this type of reopening is fitting such a grand DC family. So I want to thank Rick Lee. I want to thank Marie Lee because it probably is no better testament to parents than when their children follow in their footsteps and are so successful. So Rick and Marie Lee, give them a big round of applause. And I want to also acknowledge Stacy and Christy, who own this beautiful shop and who are building on the legacy of their parents right here at 11th and U. Now, a lot has changed in our city. We have grown, we have expanded, we have welcomed new residents and new businesses, but there is a constant here on U Street. There are two, really, and that's Lee's Flowers and Ben's Chili Bowl. And when I go and talk about the things that are unique and iconic about our city, I often refer to these businesses who can look to their customer base and look to their employees and count people who have been with them for decades upon decades upon decades. And Lee's Flowers has stuck with DC during some of the rough times, as you've heard, and now they put a stake in the ground, another stake in the ground, to say that they're not going anywhere in the best of times. And that is the spirit that I hope permeates all 8 wards of Washington, D.C. While we might change, it is important that we, the city government and taxpayers, make investments in preserving all the things that are good about our city. Small businesses that have been here for a long time. Now, some may be, facing increasing rents. We want residents who've been here for a long time who are facing increasing rents and higher housing costs to also have programs in the government to turn to. Now, our Great Streets program is fantastic. You know about Great Streets? Great Streets invest in corridors like this one. And when I walked into this flower shop and I said, did Great Streets do all of this? And we helped get the seed started. And I want to acknowledge Anna Harvey, who is our director of DSLBD, and Savon DeLay, who leads our Great Streets program, who goes out and talks to business owners all over the place. And so the little seed of $48,000 that we planted, and I don't know how much they invested, but it looks like $1 million in there. And I know, Tristan, you didn't go to $1 million, but it looks like $1 million in there. And that is what it takes, because our customers, my customers, your customers, they're always changing and evolving, and they want new and fresh things too. And that is what Lee's Flowers is providing. So I wanted to be here to acknowledge your investment, your continued investment, your family's investment for decades, but also your willingness to put up and invest in your business so that you can continue to be here for decades and decades more. So Stacy and Kristen, I'd like to present this simple wish from all of us. And it says, as Mayor of Washington, D.C., it is my pleasure to congratulate Lee's Flowers and Card and card shop on its grand opening. For close to 75 years, 3 generations of Lees have helped bring happiness to brides and grooms on their wedding days, have helped offer peaceful comfort to loved ones during their times of grief, and have helped bring smiles to countless recipients of their beautiful floral creations all across the Washington, D.C. region. Their unwavering dedication to community, particularly during times of local and national unrest, are renowned by their customers in our nation's capital. It is why Washingtonians go back time and time again to Lee's. Congratulations on a wonderful new facade, on a beautiful new flower shop, and on your grand opening. And on behalf of the 680,000 residents of Washington, D.C., I wish you many more successful years. Congratulations. So let me also acknowledge and thank our council member Robert White, who is here, the at-large council member Robert White, and Alex Padro, who represents our great streets.
We also want to thank WHUR for coming out and doing the live broadcast. Thank you. Where's Darlene? And Bonnie Austin, where is she? Our special guest. Oh, she was here, yes.
Let me say something real quick. I neglected to say something that needs to be said. You know, I don't think there's any other African-American flower shop in the United States of America that has 4 generations and another generation coming up. So that'll be 5 generations. And so we're just proud of that. And I'm so thankful that God has allowed me to have 2 wonderful daughters and several wonderful granddaughters that have taken up the mantle and kept this business alive. And there's so many of my friends have businesses, but their children don't want to go into that business. So this is a beautiful thing. God is good. God is good.